our newsletter. And we can put a link, or, they'll have to type it out, but on our water bill itself, it will have like sign up for automatic payments on this website, on our website. And it'll take time, especially for certain segments of our community, but I think most people will jump on that pretty quickly, so.
Yeah, so if my account's online and I just want to go see, oh, here's what I did for the whole year, is that done because I sign up, or is my actual account gonna be also uploaded by the town to the site?
That's a great point. It actually will take your historical data, and
Okay.
when you log in, you're using your last name that we have on the accounts and your account number. And then that account history exists in Casella already, so it will exist in this.
That's great. Okay, great. Thank you.
So this agreement is going to be updated because this is the one that we got back in
He
March.
sent me an updated one today.
Oh, okay, because this one still has included is the one-time setup fee and everything, which they've now waived.
They
Which was a
waived
big
the
sticking
offering
point, our
that
last time.
agreement with the
Okay.
updated one as well, yes.
Good.
That's great. Thank you very
Can I
much.
make a suggestion that the link on the piece of paper should have a QR code?
We can't do that on the water bills, it just doesn't allow us to do it, but the flyers that we send out to people will have a QR code.
Okay. Just from this sense of ease.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. QR codes are much easier for people.
Thank you. Any other questions for Keisha? There's a motion in your packet, that's pretty straightforward. Would someone like to make that motion?
I recommend, I don't have the motion, but I recommend that we contract with Express Bill Pay.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Yay, bill pay is gonna be in our future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keisha, very, very much.
Okay, the next one's also me.
The next one's also you, and that is health plan. Yes.
Yes, okay, this is a complicated topic. So I'm gonna go through it totally, asking questions as we go. I've written it out in a couple different ways, give a memo. I also wrote this sort of benefits breakdown here. And then I also put it in a PowerPoint presentation, so.
Yay.
So I'm gonna go through the PowerPoint presentation, because I think it's the simplest version, but this paper, the healthcare benefits document, has a sort of spreadsheet, if that's how your brain works, and that's how you wanna look at it, so. Okay. We currently offer a really excellent healthcare plan for our single employees. It covers our employees 100%. There's a $1,000 deductible, a $4,200 out of pocket annual expense. And, it has vision and dental and all these other things. So, that's okay. But what we do not offer at all is family coverage. Now, you can opt into it currently with our existing plan, but it is $1,700 a month for our employees to cover their family, which is completely out of reach for anyone. Like, we don't pay enough money for that to be reasonable. So, we are looking at our staff as it is. We're looking at the future and being competitive with other towns. And something we would like to offer is a better healthcare benefit for people with families and also our single employees. So, the proposal to achieve that is to switch from Medical B 1000, which is our existing plan, to HDHP 5000, which is a high deductible health insurance plan. That would lower our premiums from about $1,200 for a single and $1,700 for family to $845 for a single and $1,200 for family. Now, even at $1,200 for the family, that's still pretty out of reach for our employees. So because with the lower premiums, we would be saving a fair chunk of money on our single employees. I'm also proposing that we add about $703 of coverage if people opt for the family. That would make it so that an employee with a family that wants coverage is paying $500 out of a month out of their paycheck to cover their family, and the town would be paying the $845 for the employee and $703 for family. Are you following so far?
Yep.
Okay,
That's what you have there.
so, you know, the reason that the premium is lower is because it is a high deductible plan.
Who pays the deductible? Sorry, it's the question.
Great question, that's where I'm going, so, because $5,000 is also a pretty big chunk of money for our employees. In addition to this coverage, we are proposing a health, it's an HRA, health resource allocation, I think, plan, which is basically a pledge from the town that we will pay $4,000 of your deductible to help you get to that $5,000 budget total. So currently, the current plan is $1,000. This proposal would also make the deductible for the employee $1,000. So the deductible net stays the same for the employee. We are pledging to pay $4,000 of that to cover that difference. We are anticipating that only about 30% of that pool of money will actually be requested for the year. So our maximum exposure, and I am suggesting a $4,000 coverage for families and the employee, which is up to you guys, but that's what I'm suggesting, would be $64,000 with our current demographic. We have 4 people that have families, we have 12 employees, so $64,000 is the estimated maximum exposure. If everybody in town used all of their deductible, which we don't believe is going to be the case, but technically that would be the maximum exposure. We estimate that it will be closer to 30%. And so our exposure there would be $19,200. So if we switch to the HP 5,000 plan, we will be paying $845 for the employee, $703 for anyone that covers family, and likely $19,200 in deductible costs for our employees for the year. And so we estimate the annual cost for that plan will be $174,624 for the year, okay? Which is a $6,240 savings over keeping our current plan that does not cover family.
Even with the HRA
Yes,
incorporated, right? Okay,
that's
thank
the
you.
estimated cost.
Correct,
So-
right, thank you.
Is there an option to lower the max or the deductible or the annual out of pocket? I mean, not the HRA aside, as opposed to having the $5,000 cap.
There are other healthcare plans, let's see, I think I included CTSI's proposal for renewal. Yeah, so there are alternative plans, the CTSI, which is our healthcare provider. could
Where
do
is that document that you're looking at in our, here it is.
Page
in the cap, yeah.
54. So there are other plans there, there's HDHD 2,000, that's gonna be our deductible is 2,000 or 250, and then the employee only family rates are included in that chart.
And then how does that cost out, factor out? If we were to go with a lesser, instead of the 5,000, if we went with the lesser one?
Well, the employee only is about $100 more person, so that'd be about $1,200 more per month, so 44,000 more a year.
So in other words, if I'm looking at this chart right, to respond to you, Mary, the over to the right is the HDHP 5,000 plan, which is
Yeah.
what is being suggested. As you go to the left, you can see
Right,
where
sure.
those,
Yeah.
costs go up because the deductibles are going down, right? Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yep, and the family at the bottom, just so you're aware, that is the employee plus family, so that's not family in addition to the employee.
So in the first line of that chart, for the rate band info, it says we moved down to rate band 5, which equals an increase. What made us move down? And where did we move from to 5? Were we at 3? Were we at 2?
Looks like we were at 6 in 2025.
So then what made us see that increase? What changed, I guess? That we,
I would need to ask our healthcare provider about that.
So do we know what the rate band means?
No,
Okay. I had
No,
never
we
seen
didn't.
that before, I didn't know what it meant.
I don't know what that means yet. Our increase this year is 3.65% over last year, if we were to renew.
So Keisha, can you speak to how competitive we are in our healthcare coverage compared to other communities of like size or near us? Because I think that we want to remain competitive
Yeah,
and
most other cities offer a family coverage option, but it varies and I don't have the specifics on it, so.
sure, no, and I guess what the bigger picture that I was going towards was really that I believe that this new plan
Mhm.
really keeps us competitive in the employment market with people we hire, and it's attractive for people when we hire them as we look in that way, and that's all I wasn't really looking for an analysis, but just that general big picture,
Yeah,
that it really is more competitive and more attractive.
yeah,
but I think that is an important part, because when we do salary comparisons, we're looking
Yes.
to see where we stand. And,
Yes,
you know, the benefits may be available if we're only talking a small percentage that's gonna take advantage of the family piece. How is that helping the remaining 70% of our employees?
Well, so, yeah, that's one of my questions.
Mhm.
So, am I understanding correctly that we're providing more financial support to offset premiums for family?
Yes.
How do you combat an employee who comes in and says, I want $700 towards my health insurance, it's not fair.
and they're single parent.
Towards me because I'm single.
They're already zero.
They pay $0, so they don't get an extra $700 just because they don't have a family.
Currently, if you're single, you don't pay for your health insurance.
And that is a
just-
huge thing, when we look at other communities, being able to have this coverage and benefit for zero cost out of your paycheck is a big deal.
So I'd like to see those statistics though, just as we look at, like I said, with the salary comparisons. And we're seeing, 20 surrounding communities and nearby communities, or those that are on equal, demographics with us, population wise, whatever. Because to me, benefits are important. We all pay for health insurance, no matter what, we all pay for health insurance in some way, shape or form. But what's going to attract an employee, you can remind me of this in another month or two when we're talking salaries, is gonna be a salary compensation. Especially for that single employee who isn't. Yeah, and I'm not, we all have families,
So,
but, so how do we equalize that? Or is there another plan that instead of the town kicking in for the HRA or HSA? HRA, or can we write it where the employee has the opportunity to kick in so much money towards that and the town meets that, or, kind of a 50-50 split?
We have looked at that already, and we will be preparing for you with the budget discussion, some other options in conjunction with the wage discussion. So we can do those comparables with nearby jurisdictions that would be where people go. A lot of people will do comp studies and they'll just pick like-sized communities that might not even be within the realm of possibility that one of your employees would consider moving to. Location is important, so we want to compare with our region as well as like-sized communities together in the state of Colorado. So when we put that together, we can also do this comparison as well. I can say with very much certainty that what Kate is putting together here is bringing us up to not level with, but close to all the other jurisdictions that are around here. And if you're looking at it in terms of equitability and attractiveness, we want to be at a point where we're like right equal to them. So that doesn't become an issue for our employees to say, I can go over there, not move, and I can get better healthcare coverage. We always want to be in line with those, so that comparison is important. The wage thing is a completely separate thing, and we count on the Colorado Municipal League very heavily on what their comp studies do that they do every year. And we pull that document and we start comparing what those positions are, position to position, but we pick the ones that we think, if we are vulnerable to losing talent to those communities, is it gonna be Tuscaloosa? Or is it gonna be Idaho Springs? And more likely, it's gonna be those that are within our region or within, a distance that's not going to be a cost to the person that's leaving the town. So
I understand the theory behind all that, so, and I know we're behind the 8 ball on the insurance piece. Can we approve? If we choose the better family plan and not look at the HSA, HRA, whatever, can't remember the acronyms. Yet until we see where that falls within the region.
So we do, the deadline for the healthcare benefit, they only give me 3 weeks once they give me the rates, which is not very much time.
Yeah.
And so I did request an extension until tomorrow. I can try to request another extension for approving the healthcare. The HRA though, we can set up anytime. So if you want more time to research.
Oh, and that's what I'm
That's
asking.
perfect.
Because I can see where, again, we're on a deadline because of the, what the insurance is telling us, here's your deadline.
They're great.
And that does seem to be, some type of comparable benefit that's attractive. It's the HRA that I have that I would like more information on before we
the answer,
take that
yeah,
step.
the answer is yes. If you approve us switching to this plan, we can get all the paperwork in, we can get the census moved over to that plan from our roster. And then we're planning on coming back because when we set up this HRA, it's the first time we're doing it here.
Mhm.
I've done them before in other communities, other states, they have different laws, they have different ways that they set these up. But when we go to set this up, we want to come back to you with that and say, here's what we're doing, because it might mean a tweak here and a tweak there. And we also want you to be comfortable with the amount of money that we are contributing to this.
The one
So,
thing that
yes.
I'm just a little bit trepidatious about, and I trust that you guys have done the research, and it does help me understand now that there's like a net zero investment for a single employee, because I'm paranoid about people going, I want the same thing that person has, and it's not fair that I'm being excluded because I don't have this or that. And so when we're talking about benefits, that like, I get a little trepidatious about making sure that we're leveling the playing field to not expose the town on, to bad things.
Yeah, they
Like,
pay $0 in premium in both cases.
The only-
And the new plan also offers, if we were to do the $4,000 HRA, actually their out-of-pocket expenses for the year go down by quite a lot. So it becomes, instead of $4,200, which is out of pocket with our current plan, it's $1,000. So that's a
Which is
positive.
awesome.
Now, another option, if you are interested, is that we can choose to allow both plans. And the employees can decide to stick with the V1000 or switch to the HDHP 5000. Now, the risk we run with that is that if employees opt to stay with the V1000, their premium is higher, and so we will be paying that higher premium. We will not be having cost savings from a lower premium by everyone switching to HDHP. Now, I don't know what the numbers would be strictly on how many people would want to go to HDHP 5000 versus V1000, but the variables there will be, do they have a family? And the other thing is that the HDHP plan could put them, if they have a prescription that they get regularly. When you go to buy something from the pharmacy, they evaluate your benefits immediately. And if you have not paid your deductible off yet, then you will have to pay for that pharmacy prescription out of pocket right there. Now, 4,000 of the 5,000 will be reimbursable through our HRA, but you might have to pay higher upfront costs for your prescriptions with the HDHP plan. So an employee who has a prescription that they get regularly, that they cannot afford, that, 200, 2,000, whatever, out of pocket before that deductible is hit, might decide to stay with the B 1000 if we decide to give them the option to do those plans. I did calculate like sort of worst case scenario, if all of our single employees were to opt for the B 1000 and our families were to all opt for the HDHP. That would maximize our premiums for the year to $194,180.
That's it.
I think that's unlikely, but that's about 14,000 more than the B 1000 for everybody.
But does that include the HRA that you're figuring in here on your PowerPoint where it says cost to the town to show the difference between the medical B 1000 and the HDP 5000 if they stick with the current one? Am I looking at the right slide
The
here?
cost to the town slide is one or the other. If you flip to the next page, the other healthcare options, the employee choice is where I mentioned that. In that situation where,
I
again,
don't see
all of our
employee choice one.
employees,
I don't have an employee choice one.
it's page 3 of that handout and page 5 of the
see it.
slideshow.
Which one are we talking about?
It's under other healthcare options.
Oh,
So
sorry.
I am super pro benefits. I think benefits are super important. I think it's a very like fundamental thing that I know a lot of people who are in the job market care about, especially with everything that's happening with the ACA right now,
Yeah,
which I'm one of those people and I'm like, woo. So I get it. The concern I keep having is that we keep separating people in that from the employee within their outside life, and I just wanna make sure like the benefits are level, and I understand if you have a family, you have a different thing, very, very much, and you have different tiered packages. But I get leery again, like if someone comes in there like, I want this, this, and this, and it's not fair because I don't have that, that's where we have to be cognizant.
I think that everybody is eligible for family coverage.
And so that's the language that we need, not, these people are gonna use it and these people are not gonna use it. That's the language that, like, if everyone's eligible for family coverage, then and you're all eligible for the same thing, then that's important. But to separate it is, do you see what I'm saying?
But that has been the way that the industry has been forever.
100%, but
Even the health
but
care.
even like, like, that's why big like employers now just tier it and just pay a certain percentage
Yeah.
in full.
I
And
remember when we were having kids, my rate for family coverage was the same for 5 kids as it was for my colleague who had 1.
I mean,
Yeah,
So that
And
is
that's
what
just
you
the
guys.
way that's just
Yeah.
the way the industry was set up.
100%, but it's,
If you're worried about our liability here, you don't need to be. Even the health insurance themselves say employee only versus family, so.
if those are all covered and we're using that language, then I feel okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Do you remember they had, I think there was even a 2-person option, not too
Yeah.
long ago that they eliminated because of that, I think.
No, I mean, we have, I am unfortunately too familiar
Yeah.
with this struggle and so I'm acutely aware of what the industry does. What I worry about is if someone's getting a higher benefit paid back
Yeah,
from the employer, because that's what I'm
I
targeting.
understand.
Not, I mean, I know how the industry is,
Yeah.
and so, like, that's like for the school, for example, what they did for their staff is every single employee at the school gets. I think it's $650 a month, that's what they get. And so they get $650 a month and they can use it on anything they want for health insurance. And so if you have all of your kids, you get $650, if you have just you get $650, but everybody. And that's just one example of like a way that people sort of like remediate that potential of, again, I don't think it's a problem right now, but you never know in the future if someone comes on board and they're like, wait, it's not fair.
But that's still an inequitable situation that you
It
just
is.
described. at the
Very.
school, right?
It is, but it's the only way to do it, that it wasn't like, we didn't have someone who was getting
Yeah,
more of a payout from the school.
yeah,
Well, just to be clear, none of them, I mean, like, they get coverage, not a payout. We
Right.
pay the premium to the health insurance company, the employee is not paying anything, and they're not getting money from us
So
necessarily.
we're paying more for them than we have.
yes, you're prioritizing the family benefit, you want that to be available
Which
because
is
you want to
super valid.
attract the younger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, the new, yes, absolutely, and we had that conversation And to piggyback on that, it also during this conversation that Cage and I were having, the two of us, but also with some of the employees, there was a question about a payment in lieu option, which a lot of organizations will offer too. So we put that together today
Mhm.
based
I
on
saw
that,
that.
and that's sitting
That
here.
was in that package.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so what we're recommending is that if one of our employees has coverage that they can prove with a spouse.
Yeah.
Then they can come to us, show us proof of coverage, and then they qualify for a $300 a month payment in lieu.
Which is taxable.
Yeah.
Which then takes them off our books and off our responsibility, and we think that that's enough, nice thing that we want you to add to this tonight too.
Which is about half the premium cost of the, if they were to opt in.
That's
Correct, if they're just a
And
single
if you
employee.
eliminate the contribution in the HRA, it's a huge savings for
Yeah.
the town.
Mhm.
We're recommending $300 for that, and the employee only coverage is $845 a month, so.
So with this, so with that same line of thinking, if the employee has family coverage elsewhere, are we,
They have to have it to get it. They can't do it. They can't just say, I'm not gonna have insurance coverage. I
And then
don't
take
do-"
$300.
Yeah.
right, I understand, but so their spouse works somewhere else, they already have insurance and family coverage, and if they choose, and if our employee chooses to opt out because they are already covered, are you talking about that incentive increasing? Because it's one thing if it's just a single employee and we're paying, and we're proposing that there would be an incentive of $300 if you opt out of our insurance because you're covered somewhere else, somehow, whatever.
The other, when I called our benefits broker, they did have one example of a town that does this where they offer the pay in lieu of, and there is a $150 in lieu fee for the employee and $150 for family in addition if they have a family to opt out. But because you can only do the pay in lieu of if you have a family, because you have to have a spouse that's covering you or a parent if you're 26 or under, that you're under their coverage, because you cannot opt
Yeah.
into a
You
private
can't.
sector and you cannot opt into Medicare. It
I
has to
can't
be-
do it as a single person.
Right,
Right. So there's about,
that's local law, we can't, yeah.
how many people did we estimate that would qualify for this? 4?
The opt out,
Yeah,
The opt out, yeah, we think there's. Well, it's anyone that's married and their spouse has health coverage. So I think only one person could potentially opt into this particular thing. That's my estimate.
But it's an option for people, so
It's
what
an
we're really saying is we have the HD.
and it could apply to the next employee that we attract to
Mhm.
work for us, or 5 years from now, somebody says, I'm gonna go work for Georgetown, wow, they have the payment in lieu because my spouse is gonna be working over somewhere. Yeah,
Sure. So we're really contemplating this HDHP 5,000 plan.
Mhm.
We're contemplating discussing the HRA in detail later.
Mhm.
And then we're also saying there's gonna be this payment in lieu would be
Yes.
part of whatever benefits package in terms of healthcare. Those are the
that's
items
the
in front
approval
of
we're looking for.
Yes.
us. Okay.
but I'm not clear on the payment in lieu of it, with my question, if we have an employee who is opting out
Mhm.
because they have
A spouse.
a spouse and family that are covered elsewhere, is the payment in lieu, could that amount be increased? Because it obviously costs us more to give a family plan than it gives a single plan.
Mhm.
So is that payment in lieu of just based on the single? And so if all of a sudden I'm opting out and we're paying out $1,500 for a family plan, am I gonna get more because I'm opting out?
No,
Or am I still, am I
that
still
number,
It's
that
always
frozen
number,
at the 300-ish?
that number was picked for families only because you can't qualify if you're single.
Right.
The law will not allow us to.
Well, but if you,
That
if
makes
you,
sense.
but if you still qualify to receive insurance, if you're
26 or under.
under, yeah, if you're underage.
So you would.
Yeah,
Be
So
the-
no, that
But then you'd
aligns,
be in a family.
that aligns 100%.
that's up to you guys if you
The
would like
pay,
to.
the pay in lieu, I think is easy peasy, I think that's.
But it's a flat
It's a
fee no
flat
matter
fee.
what, no matter if you are just insuring yourself or you are
Well, you're
insuring the
just
family
insuring yourself,
yourself.
you can't opt out.
Well, you can opt
I mean,
out,
you can
and
opt out,
should not
you're
opt out
paying.
because you're
No, you
23
can't.
years old and you're on your parents'
But then you're
plan,
on your parents' plan and you're in a family, so
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
So I, as a single person, couldn't work for the town and then say, oh, I want a payment in lieu, but it's just me, cause I have my own insurance.
You can't.
I
can't do that.
That you have somewhere else.
Right,
If I'm 23 years old and I'm
Right.
still on my parents' policy,
then you have a family,
Then you have a family. So
and then you
no,
cannot.
Well,
But, no, that's-
it's dependents actually, you can't enroll your parents.
Yeah,
Okay, so then
different.
Mary's
He's right,
example is,
yes.
then that person would not be eligible.
No, they would be
We're using a flat $300 fee, if you'd like to split it up based on that scenario, like the other town that I talked about did, 150 for the single who's 26 or under. Or 300 if you do you and your family.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Got it.
Then you know, that's up to you guys, that's fine with us.
So I was just trying to make sure that the 300 wasn't accelerated or escalated if it was a family plan, because I was thinking of it as just for a 300 for a
Okay.
single person, so. So I think we need to define that then, whichever way we go with it,
Agreed.
so.
We worked it backwards. We went
Yeah.
only with the family. We didn't consider that child that decides to not be insured. But
Mhm.
we could add a line item here that says, if there is a dependent that is exempted out of this, he qualifies for $150
Mhm.
payment in lieu. That's fine.
But it's
I mean,
also, I mean, if they're gonna get stronger coverage, I mean, it doesn't make, why would they take $300 when they can have a zero?
Cause
But we
their
don't know
parents-
that if their parents have
Also,
got great
New York
coverage.
City, and they might have the
Right.
best coverage of all time.
Right, so it sounds to me like further discussion might be had on that particular
Yeah.
thing. And so before us, we wanna say, first of all, do we approve this healthcare plan as presented with the fact that the HRA is gonna be delayed for further discussion, and with the idea that the payment in lieu would also be up for further discussion as later. Does that give you what you need for tomorrow so
That'd
you
be
can
fine
move
with
forward?
Yes, so you guys are deciding really, if you want to opt in the HDHP plan. Or stay with the B1000 plan or allow both options. And then also I would, you know. It would be cool if you could decide about how much of the family premium we're covering, which we
We
can
can do at a
change
later date.
So we don't have to do that now.
So for right now, we want to say, I'm just offering this out, that the motion would be to approve the healthcare plan HDHP 5,000. With further discussion on the HRA and how that would be allocated, and with further discussion about the payment in lieu and how that would be allocated. And that gets you where you need to be.
yes.
Yes, it does.
Although I would like direction on what more information you would like to have.
Um,
It sounds like a comparable to other areas, but they can do.
I think that was part of it, Mary, of
Yeah.
comparables, how it's gonna be split up is what Dennis was suggesting, or you suggested, 150 and 150. With the HRA, we wanna understand further on that, correct, how that's going to be applied. I think more details than what we have here and more discussion time.
Yeah.
On that
the-
topic.
Yeah, the HRA, we will have more details on if the HDHP 5,000 plan is approved, then we will go, we do have a quote from Rocky Mountain Health Services or something like that, on how, like, there's a couple different ways you can set that up, so.
So we can have further discussion on that.
Yes.
Okay, so then again, I would go back to the motion before us, if we look at our packet, that the board would move to approve the healthcare plan HDHG 5,000 with further discussion and details on the HRA and further discussion and details on the payment in lieu. That is the motion that I would propose if anybody wants to make that motion.
However, if we're moving to the HDHP 5,000 with the higher deductible at this moment, and this goes into effect January what, right? I mean, you still have to commit
Yes,
to
the
it
open
now,
enrollment is.
but the open enrollment period for us for some reason ends tomorrow as opposed to November for most people. or whatever.
The decision for us ends tomorrow, open enrollment for employees does not start until later, so.
Okay, but so I could see benefit though in allowing employees to choose one or the other, because right now it is an unknown. And if I'm the single person and only have $1,000 deductible to worry about under the current plan, and life looks good and this is where I plan to be for the next year, you know, in my personal life and my work
Mhm.
life, that one is going to seem more attractive potentially than forcing someone to go to the 5,000, the new plan, which has a higher deductible and more copays that we're not offsetting yet,
No
correct?
copays.
No, no.
Zero copays.
Right.
And you're right, we have not decided to offset it yet. It's not a great plan if we don't do that, so,
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm
Yeah.
hearing is that the HDHP 5,000 plan is a better plan, is a less
Yes.
expensive plan per employee.
yes.
However, to Mary's point, if we wanted to give people options, didn't you say that there was more increased cost to the town? If we
Yeah.
do that, if somebody stays on the current
It
plan?
could,
It's kind of like, it's like when we go to Costco and you buy in bulk and you need to, everyone needs to buy the same thing.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
That's, and
Right.
so, I mean,
We're comfortable with allowing the choice as long as we acknowledge it's gonna be much more expensive.
Right.
Yeah, but you, here it is, you can take into account, right now, we offer nothing to an employee that has a family.
no.
So I mean, you don't, like, sometimes you just don't have a choice unless you just want to say, we don't care about your family, but we want you to work here. It's that simple.
Of course.
I mean, why not make it that simple? We overcomplicate stuff all the time. I mean, back in St. Louis, we were union, and when I was single, I paid the same amount as a family guy, or the family guy paid the same amount as me. Basically, it was one cost that we were all covered. So guess what? When I started a family, it was great that it was in place. We don't have to complicate this, but I mean, you can't not go with this, because right now we don't have anything for the families. You know, how you decide about.
We don't have anything reasonable for the family.
right,
We don't,
Yeah, I mean, that's like saying not having anything. I mean, if I had a choice to come work for this town with my family or another town that offered anything reasonable for a family, I'm going to that place.
So
Plain and simple.
do we think that giving the employees an option, so for example, if we opt in tomorrow, when you say, okay, great healthcare plan, we're gonna go with HDHP 5,000, I feel like I'm talking about a computer. Are the employees barred from making a choice in the future, or they are barred? So in other words, this decision is either one way or the other, where you're gonna go with two choices, or we're gonna go with the 5,000.
yes.
So
Okay,
does the 5,000 plan, and I'm getting way into the weeds here, last question, I promise. Does the 5,000 give the employee who's been under the existing 1,000 for the last year or two and established with all their doctors and medical programs that they can still keep
Mhm.
within that? We're not switching from like Kaiser to United.
The
Okay,
effective
all right.
Coverage stays exactly the same,
Okay.
it's just the deductible and the way that the pharmaceuticals are charged. There's no copays with the $5,000 plan. Once they pay $5,000, there's zero copays, which is also a benefit because the B1000 has copays for your pharmaceuticals forever, so depending on how many,
but we would,
How many
we
drugs?
would kick in.
Right.
offset.
yeah, we
That's
would,
right.
that's correct.
Well, if you guys are
So,
lucky
okay,
enough
I'm
to
done.
stay with the same doctors from year to year.
Yeah.
But
We've kept same insurance companies, but then yet.
Yeah.
How it works out,
Lucky enough to have the
so
same
we can't.
So
we can't
if
control
the
it.
documents remain the same, I think that's important.
That's fine.
So I think, are we ready to make a motion?
Sure.
So, so if you look at our computers in front of us, so one of the things, and someone can say this better if they want to. But I would like to hear a motion to approve the healthcare plan HDHP 5,000 with further discussion and details on the HRA and further discussion in detail on how to allocate the payment in lieu.
That's correct.
Do I hear the motion?
Mary just.
I'll make the motion.
Sorry, Mary, did you make
No,
it?
Mary just made a motion.
Amanda made it and Alex seconded?
No, I'll make the motion.
Alex made the motion and who seconded?
Amanda.
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 Go for it.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Very good. Keisha, thank you very much for very comprehensive and
Thank you so
detailed
much.
discussion on something that's complex. But we really appreciate it, and I'm really glad to see that the town does want to continue to move forward, you know, with plans that are gonna be effective and attractive for our future. Next up is another not weighty topic of it's item number 7, the sheriff MOU update, and Dennis, I'm assuming this is.
Yeah, this is not weighty at all.
Oh.
I'll break it down real simple. So as we understood the extension that we had with the county sheriff's office for September. if you recall, it was the patrol hour, minimal patrol hours with no charge. So we also understood that when the expiration came, we were transitioning to the cost per call model. And so when we got to that point, I asked the county sheriff's office to continue to honor the patrol element of that for no cost. And we would incorporate that, and they said, yes, we will. We know, we're very happy with the way this negotiation is going. And so we got with Jerry, we got with Peter, and they have suggested that we come back here and get your approval for this that would expire October 31st.
But this is 47 a call.
I'm
This
sorry,
is $47 a call.
That's
correct.
correct.
And the free patrol hours that were given to us in September, so they've meshed the two offers together.
I would just suggest that we extend this date, that it's not terminated on October 31st, because we haven't seen the contract yet. That
Okay.
it's being
And
worked
that's
on,
fair.
and I think it would save us time and them time. Knowing that we're working towards that, even to make it November 30th, or, you know, so that it gives us some time. I don't, yeah, you know, just.
I'll go back to Jerry and I'll go back to Peter, but I don't think this will be an issue.
Yeah, I'd make a suggestion. The Board of Commissioners has already approved this, as you see, it's signed up in the packet.
We executed this one.
Right, it is true. This is an executed document. You can see the commissioner signed this.
So my suggestion to kind of cover both bases is, take a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding as presented. And as a part of that same motion, further authorize the police judge and the town clerk to sign an extension of this to November 1 if consented to by the county. That way.
November
if-
3rd.
Sorry?
November 3rd.
Did I say November? Yeah, okay. If consented to by the county, that way it's locked in that you've got October. And with any luck, the county will say, yeah, that's fine. And you won't have to come back to you.
That's fine.
Robin, for the November coverage. How
That's
about
fine.
that?
Okay, so I couldn't hear all of that. So if somebody did, does someone want to
I
make
got
that motion?
I motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office and the town of Georgetown for law enforcement services with so hang on, Jerry, I'm sorry, should I do that in one motion and do a second motion?
I think you can do it all in one.
Okay.
And let me express it for you, and then maybe somebody can do some move.
Great,
Uh,
okay.
A motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for temporary law enforcement services with with Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office as presented, and further to authorize the police judge and town clerk to sign an extension of that memorandum through November. What date?
30.
Right.
31st.
That way you've covered. So moved?
Town clerk or town administrator?
No,
I
said-
motion
Police
to,
judge and town clerk, she just signed saying that it was Georgia.
Okay.
authorize the
me.
police judge. Yeah.
I motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for temporary law enforcement services between the town of Georgetown and Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office, and further authorize the town clerk and the town administrator.
Yes,
Police judge.
Police
and the police judge.
Just the
To-
police judge to extend
to extend
the agreement
until November 30th.
till November 30th. Yeah.
Okay, Amanda, thank you for the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
That works.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that carries. Thank you very much, Jerry, for helping with that, and thank you, Dennis, for putting that together. Agenda item number 8 is really just a notification. I had worked on the EECL Scholarship Committee throughout the summer. And after that was asked if I would support the EECL, or the Expanded Early Care and Learning Center in Clear Creek County, to apply for a grant to the Laura Jane Musser Foundation for a summer program. And this letter in your packet is that letter that I wrote. And so because I wrote it as police judge and said that the town of Georgetown supports this, even though there's no money, we are not dedicated or not obligated to spend any money. It's just strictly, hey, we support you applying for a grant. We wanted to bring it before the board and make sure that you were noticed of this. And that, you know, to make sure you didn't have any questions or objections to what happened. Good job. Thank you. All
I do
right,
think
so,
it's interesting that they excluded Georgetown from that summer program.
well, did they?
They did. It just says Carlson and rec district, which is,
Well, it's a Clear Creek County Recreational District.
but so it's separate.
Okay, it's a separate thing. All right, well, so at any rate, we approved them applying for a grant, or we supported them in applying for a grant. Okay, next item up is an ice skating rink, which is, your agenda item number 9. It's the Fifth Street Ice Skating Rink, and who would like to tell us that, Keisha?
That's
Very
me.
great, Keisha, thank you.
Yes, okay, so last year, the Business Promotion Commission and the Parks Commission both discussed an ice rink somewhere downtown, somewhere that's a little bit more visitor friendly, something that's an attraction for people that are coming to town. In addition to being something that locals use. And so we discussed the different areas and people generally believe that the basketball courts on Fifth and Rose Street, across the street from Mountain Mamas, was an ideal location, especially within the Christmas market. Because another location that was discussed was the Hotel de Paris parking lot, but because the beer tent goes there, that location's not available. So, and the basketball court is totally underutilized at this time. So we spoke with the Parks Commission again, and they were very supportive of this particular thing. We do have it in our budget to pay for it. It's gonna be $6,820 for the rink itself, which will be 40 feet by 75 feet, so it fits within the basketball court hoops. And there will be space along the edges for benches. And it will provide an attraction for, again, visitors during the Christmas market and during the winter time.
And the children, as opposed to hockey at the park.
Also, the kids will be able to use it that are at the school now. The Georgetown Community School is very excited and supportive of this as well. They are happy to offer use of that space free of charge. And so, yeah, we would like to execute this, with the approval of the board. Any questions?
What about, equipment?
Equipment, great question. We do want to purchase some ice skates, not hockey. We will not be allowing hockey on that rink because of its proximity to the Alpine Hose, which is a historic building we want to protect. So only only ice skates. We will be looking for, I'm planning on putting together a donation package for people to sponsor this rink. So we're not proposing at this time that the town pays for additional equipment, but we will be seeking donations from the community to provide benches, a storage box for ice skates and some ice skates that are down there, and string lights.
Did we discuss getting a MOU or similar document from the school district and the school?
We have a use form that we're using, that if that suffices, that's what they would like to do, and we'll also be adding them to an insurance certificate, but we can do an MOU if you prefer.
I think it just protects us and covers us and them, you know, so that there's an understanding of what the uses are going to be in the limited and who's accessing it, and so that it just doesn't, you know, when the termination might be, things happen. You know, this was discussed a couple of years ago. It obviously was not acted upon for various reasons off the top of my head. I don't remember why, except it wasn't, because there was some pushback. And so, you know, I would just like it in a neat little.
No problem, no problem.
And
What is
this,
this?
I was on the school board, I think the reason is because there was a bunch of bond work happening. And that area was in the scope of bond in the first.
And that could have been, and not to say, you know, so what if, you know, additional, even, you know, construction or something has to happen at the school or whatever. And the rink isn't going to be operational, you know, let's spell out the terms so that we're all unfortunately, handshakes just don't work anymore.
No, for sure, but I think just if that helps anyone feel better about why it didn't happen, I have a pretty strong recollection, it's because there was.
I don't think it was on the school side, I think it was on the town.
Oh, was it? Cause I remember we were doing the bond work and there was.
Well, I don't wanna blame the town, because then that sounds like staff or us, and I don't think.
Yeah.
But do we have to worry about the school district? I think I had this
Yes,
question.
it's the school district's building, it's.
They have a use form.
Right.
The Georgetown Community School has the authority to approve.
Okay, that's
for
what
the
I-
use of the space.
Okay.
That we will be filling out and returning.
And then we have our own insurance that would cover any incident that would happen at the rink. It would not fall on the school district. It would be used. Do we have use forms that, like when people skate in Whirland Park, and I've always wondered this, they just go out there and skate it well, right? It's just like, and it would be the same thing here, skate at your own risk, like, you know, get in the pool.
But we're taking it to a different level and not just relying on the youth.
Correct.
We're gonna come up with more of them.
MOU. Okay, very good. Any other questions? I think this is a great idea. Thank you so
We're
much.
excited.
The MOU is gonna say C, use form.
Okay, so there's a recommended motion in the packet. Mary, you wanna make that motion? No. Okay, who would like to make the motion?
Well, should be here, so we can do it, it's a parks thing, I'll make it.
All right, you make it.
I move to approve the purchase of an ice rink to be placed at the basketball court at the intersection of Fifth and Rose Street for $6,820 after the MOU is signed with the school and school district.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very, very much. Kasia, this is great. I'm excited to see this happening. I guess it was around for a few years, but now it's happening, so that's very, very nice and exciting. Okay, last agenda item is the DRC grant application approval. I know Cindy is not here.
Okay,
Application?
The design review commission would like to redo the design guidelines to update them, make them more concise, a little easier to read, a little more consistent across districts as far as what is regulated and what is not. And the History Colorado offers a certified local government grant up to $25,000. It is a no match grant, so we apply for this, we just get it, which is sweet. And Cindy Neely will be managing this project, so.
This is a genuine grant. There's no conditions about any form of
It has
fallback.
to be completed by June 2026.
You mean the work or the grant application?
Sorry, 27, June 2027. The actual work has to be completed by then.
So the DRC guidelines need to be updated by 2027.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say Cindy Neely is going to manage this grant, are we paying her to manage this grant? So we get the grant for $25,000 because it's kind of a slam dunk. And yet we're going to incur additional costs for her
No,
project management?
This is in her capacity as a
DRC. Okay,
yes,
just
and
clarifying.
so we're clear the treasurer is gonna handle all of our grants.
Okay.
The money person handles.
She'll apply for it. And then,
Yes.
right, and then we would.
And she's already soliciting quotes from contractors to do the work, so.
Mhm. Oh,
She actually anticipates it will be less than 25,000, but we'll see.
She's optimistic.
Yeah,
good, thank
It
you.
was stated in here, the application draft is due yesterday.
the draft was due on the 13th, which was yesterday, and so Cindy and I talked about that this morning. She does anticipate that, she submitted some notification of intent to the CLG. She might apply by the due date, which is the 27th. But she actually expects that they will request that she roll the application into the January 1 cycle, so, which would be appropriate since we'll be adding this as a revenue on the 2026 budget, so.
Thank you. Any other questions on this? There's a motion in your packet, your recommended motion. Would someone like to make that motion?
I move to authorize the DRC to apply for the CLG grant to update the design review guidelines.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you very much. Well, let Cindy know. Full steam ahead. That's great.
We probably wait to her, she probably.
So I have a quick update for the police judge report. We did do our first leaf peepers market. it turned out to be what I'm hearing is a good success. We had 40 booths, we had enough people roaming around with the vendors, that the vendors want to come back. They love Georgetown. Everyone I spoke to thought we were just a wonderful community, everybody was so supportive. I think I bought something from every booth except windows and gutters. Trying to do my part, but they were very happy and they did want to come back. The interesting thing about that is because we were a first time market, a lot of the vendors were not interested in coming because they thought first time market, we don't know. But Georgetown had been in the news so often in those prior 3 weeks that people thought, oh, well, maybe they'll have a lot of traffic. So it all worked out great. Perfect day, as you may remember. It was really beautiful and it rained the next 2 days. But it was successful. They want to come back. We intend to continue to work with them throughout 2026 and do more markets as we can. So I just want to thank everybody for supporting that and for showing up. It was really fun. Thank you. And that's it. That's my report. So now Board of Selectmen. So Mary, let's start with you.
Just an update on our social media technology, Bridget.
Yes.
This is to you. You and I right now have access to the Town of Georgetown Facebook
I
page.
just got access to
Okay,
that.
good. All right, so I didn't see that you had signed on yet, so I just wanted to share that. And so I hope that we continue to use that from the municipal standpoint and separate what's appropriate for visitors and what's appropriate for town, and maybe we can post some of these cool things that are happening, or.
So is this like Instagram now we're doing is it like a Visit Georgetown Facebook?
So we have the Visit Georgetown Facebook page we've had access to for the last couple of months, for weeks.
Great,
this is
And
town.
then this is the
Yeah.
town Facebook page we've been working to get access.
It's more of an official one, but
Yes,
You know,
the
so
official.
So our hope with that one is to start posting, all of our board meetings and commission meetings as events.
Perfect, thank you.
So keeping people up to date there and
That's great.
then, other official town business.
well, and follows, or, you know, even the leak, or some of the things that we've approved tonight. I mean, let's make this positive, and so that people are actually looking at it. I would hope that we agree that people should be looking at the Town of Georgetown site for information about Town of Georgetown as opposed to some of the other
Thank you.
social media sites that are up there that
Yes.
are less than official.
Believe
Absolutely.
me, we are
Thank
all
you.
extremely happy of today's events, take Facebook.
Yeah, no, that's great.
It's been
Thank you.
quite a challenge.
I'm good. Barry, anything else? Alex?
I don't have a report, but I have two suggestions to continue on from what Mary's just talked about, is that we definitely need to increase our communication about what's happening with law enforcement. And when we get an IGA agreement, I think we need to really blast our residents with information, because there is just so much negativeness that I perceive and hear about what's going on law enforcement. And I think we need to turn the tide on that and promote all of the good stuff that will come from that IGA. And then the other thing is that when I log on to the town's website, I see 1868 as the date.
There are 2 dates, it's established and incorporated.
Right, charter, right.
We went with the incorporated date for the logo.
Yes, so now that
We have to change it.
logo and
Yeah.
everything's been approved, we're in the process of swapping out things.
Okay,
Things have to be updated.
all right.
Thank you. Anything else, Alex?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
wait,
there is
I'm
actually
sorry,
one other
I'm
thing.
sorry, go ahead.
When it comes to the leaf peeping thing, that I actually talked with one particular business in Argentine Street who stated that the way that we'd operated the one-way system impacted them very marginally on a negative basis, because people who were leaving town were going down Rose Street as opposed to Argentine. And
Correct, and there will be
You know,
a robust discussion of that
Yes.
later on in the report, and that's, yeah, absolutely aware of that. Thank you. Dwayne,
We had our last meeting on October 6th for the Quick Creek Regional Housing Authority. We discussed local planning grant, determine our voting board member criteria are at-large members, correct?
Mhm.
And then hopefully we'll be, putting out an ad soon for an executive director. And
We're
then we're gonna
having-
discuss that at the next meeting with, Commode Consulting. And so-
Our next meeting, we'll be doing a goals workshop to determine the function of the housing authority and refine our criteria for an executive director.
Correct, and then what were we putting out for that large number, because back and forth.
We're putting together an ad for the at-large members, and approving it on October 10th.
Perfect, yeah, so after that, you have people in, anybody's interested. It'd be nice to fill those positions.
Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Amanda.
Well, we went to Georgetown Community School
Oh, yeah.
and had so much fun.
Yes, we did.
After our last meeting, that was awesome.
However, so we need to kind of make a decision on some hopeful next steps for them. Miss Camlin, who is the first and second grade teacher, would like to have her class come, but we are a little late for some of the littles. So if it was possible for us to host a special meeting during the day, they would like to come and do their presentation for us. It would probably not be a heavy duty commitment, but it would mean a lot to the kids to actually present their work to the board. So if there was a time we could find to host a work session, she can bring her class down and they can show us their video and give us their recommendations for Foster's Place.
I think that would be fabulous.
What time do they start school?
They start school at 8.
Okay.
They would like to come here. She would like them to see town hall.
Sure.
She's more than happy to come in, to our next meeting if that doesn't work for the board, and she'll probably be alone or maybe have 1 or 2 students with her. But I think the hope is that if we could carve out, half an hour of our days to see the kids and see their hard work and get their recommendations, that would mean a lot to them.
Would that be best over a lunch hour, or how does that work for them?
I mean, honestly, I think she would work with us at any.
At any time?
Like if
Okay.
we said it was gonna be at 9 o'clock on a, as long as they're in school, they don't have school on Fridays. So, yeah. I
Is
mean,
Friday a better day then or not?
No, because
No,
it's,
yeah, 'cause they're
there's
not
kids
school.
that, yeah,
Right, so Monday through Thursday, okay. I think it's a great idea.
Tomorrow, the session, sure.
unfortunately, we won't be posted. We have to be legal.
Yeah.
We're probably not gonna take
Not
action.
unfortunately, we have to be legal. Unfortunately, we
No,
can't do it.
I'm saying unfortunately, we have to be legal, yes, sorry. That was not what I meant. In any way, shape or form, oh my God. No. What I meant was, we would be legal, we're not posted, and we need to be posted.
So Amanda, do you want to find out what day works best for them?
I was told I could come back with a date.
Can we
So-
double check with Rich and Rob, because I think
Yeah.
those two
Yeah.
would certainly wanna be involved.
No,
too.
100%.
And I know Rich is out
If
of
you
town.
wanna just do like a quick
Like
email
the
blast.
first 8:39, yeah, or
Yeah,
whatever.
we can do like at 9 o'clock on like any morning or even, if we wanna do it after lunch.
Well, we could do next week and then, get with Rob and Rich, get it out. to
I'm
them.
fine if you wanna check, and then if you wanna just get back to me, I know we have interviews too next week, hopefully. So I can like if we wanted to stick with Tuesdays and do it like on the 21st, some point maybe.
I would say October 21st at 9 AM unless it conflicts with potential dates for the other. I don't know.
We have staff meeting at 9 AM on Tuesday typically, but that's the only thing we have going on.
And are those an hour or how long do they last?
We
What-
can cancel.
What if we did?
Okay,
9 o'clock
push back.
on Tuesday?
10 o'clock on Tuesday would be fine, so.
Let's do 10 o'clock Tuesday, the 21st, but we
Let's
will
check
get
in
the,
with Robin.
Let's
Yeah,
check,
we'll check
Rob's
with Rob and
schedule
Rich.
might be a little bit more. I mean,
It's hard for-
you work locally, so you're a little bit easier. I don't know what your schedule is like, but I know
Rob's would probably be better early, what do you think?
that's
I
what
would
I'm
think
thinking.
that-
Yeah, I mean, if we need to do it at 8, we could do it
Yeah.
at like 8:30.
So
Like,
sometimes.
cause they would need time to walk down here. Like, so if we did like 8:30, I mean, I cannot imagine it's gonna take. They made a video, they're gonna tell us it's gonna be really sweet,
I
they
think
worked
it's
really hard.
cute.
Yeah.
It's so engaged.
9 on
Let's
Tuesday?
do it at 9 and.
Yeah, 9's good. 9
the
the,
21st, Bridget can get going on the notice, so we are all legal.
and
even though
then
Amanda didn't wanna be.
who will
No.
reach out to Rob
Me.
and Rich?
Amanda, are you gonna
We
follow
will.
up with Amanda?
We will, town will. Okay, town
We'll
will
reach out to
out
Rich and Rob,
the 2
Text.
hours.
But as long as we have a quorum, right,
Mhm.
that's the important part, and if Rob just can't make it because he has a
Sure.
work commitment.
So Tuesday at 9.
Tuesday at 9, is that what we're saying?
Tuesday, October 21 at 9 is what we're saying.
Okay.
And then it also will give them time, because I think they might have some parents that wanna come
Sure.
and see their little citizens in action.
So we should make sure we have a chance for audience business in case the parents have
Yeah.
anything to tell us before the agenda starts.
Yeah.
And remember, we'll be on Zoom.
Yep.
So other relatives can tune in and see it.
Yeah, it's fun. So, and then, other than that, I don't have anything for everyone.
Great, thank you very much. I'm excited for this, for the little kids come. It's gonna be really fun. Next is Town Attorney Jerry, you're on. Did you have a report for us?
Yes, briefly, I should let you know that by the way, thank you for letting me attend by Zoom. I had a very difficult, root canal procedure that had complications that made me not feel well. So it's nice that I don't have to drive. But that aside, I was in touch with Peter Lickman today, the county attorney's office. And he asked if I would do the first draft of this IGA, which is fine for law enforcement services. And I've got at the beginning of draft going. I'm going to get the proposal that they made as kind of the base material to inject into that draft. I'm very mindful of the schedule, which is that you've got a meeting on the 28th, and ideally we'd like to be able to approve it by then, but you haven't seen it. I'm going to pull it together as soon as I can. And as soon as I have something that Peter and I believe is pretty close for our boards, I'll get it out to you separately from a packet. So if it's ready before the packet
Perfect.
getting put together for the 28th, you'll just get it. I'm not gonna wait until that packet deadline. And we'll see how close we are when we meet on the 28th, and there'll be, a number of choices. It'll look good and you'll be able to approve it and we're good. It'll be pretty good, but with 2 or 3 changes, and maybe those can be wrapped into a motion to approve and it still is good, or it needs more work, in which case, hopefully, in the meanwhile, the county will have taken up your request that they grant additional time in, through the month of November for their ongoing services. I suspect that as long as Peter sees and the commissioner see that we're putting together the agreement that we agreed to in discussions, that I would hope that they would be comfortable extending the temporary coverage. But I'm going to do everything I can to not have to need that. But of course, that will depend upon how the drafting goes, what kind of questions I get from the commissioners, and how you like it when you see it. I'll do my best, but of course, it's one you're going to want to fly spec through carefully. But we'll do everything we can to have it in place, and if not, we have our plan B, right, which is to ask the commissioners to allow the sheriff to continue to respond during November. So that's my report.
Very good, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, for staff reports, Bridget will start with the town clerk.
So looking on, Nigel Anderson is wanting to go to retail with the license, so we'll listen with them. One thing to note about that is, we as a town, when we instated our liquor code, allow for, unlike the state code, allow for retail liquor stores to be located within 500 feet of the school. Otherwise, nowhere in downtown will be able to serve liquor, so that's just a note to kind of about that. The liquor store got their liquor license from the state and local level, so they are all ready to go. Something that will be coming across your desk soon is a readjustment of our fee schedule, so I'm looking at comparing our fees to other municipalities of our size to see if there's a lot of disparity, one that we haven't reassessed in a long time, whether it's time to take another look at them. As well as a couple of our fees that don't quite make sense for the use cases that they adhere to, specifically the lake use fees. The newsletter, we were able to get Jen's list of newsletter subscribers and add them to to Jess's list of newsletter subscribers. And there were about 100 additional people that should be getting the newsletter from now on. We've also decided, rather than trying to incorporate every private business's event into the newsletter, to have a submittal onto our events calendar on the visitor website and keep all of the events that we promote on the newsletter to town events or the community center, nonprofits, which will prepare me, things like that. We have a couple new STRs that just got approved for Ward 3, and now Ward 3 is full, so Ward 1 and Ward 2 has the spots, Ward 3 does not. I'm also gonna be doing an audit for ownership on the house in the coming week or so. KJ and I are working on a Halloween block party, so we've got the amplified sound permit and the special event liquor licensing in the works. Facebook page access has been granted, we talked about, and then the other thing I've been working on is I met with a couple of, website backend people. Were looking to revamp our website in the new year, kind of update the new branding, streamline some stuff to sort of modernize how the website works, having forms that people can submit online rather than the app process, a lot of exciting things. So I've met with 2 additional providers and provider to talk about costs and abilities with revamping the website.
That's great, thank you so much, sounds like a lot.
Who's the new liquor store operator?
The Nod Coffee.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think, yeah, he's really great and, by the books, he follows, they're all table again, he's good.
And can we put a link in the newsletter
That's just what I
that
was gonna ask.
takes people to the calendar, the event
Yes,
calendar?
that's the new plan. If
Okay.
you wanna feature your event, reach out to the town clerk, it'll be on the events calendar, which will be hyperlinked.
But I mean, yeah, so
Yes.
the person who receives the newsletter and wants to check the events, it'll take them to the, okay, so
That's, I think that's
it's back way. And then my other question, if I could read my own writing, where do we have a list, or is it on the website of all the short-term rentals?
I have it, it is not on the website, cause it has a bunch of contact information in it that I can't give out, but
Okay.
I can make a list of website them.
Or just the addresses?
Yeah, the addresses,
Yeah, so that, you know, so we can see Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, and, okay. Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
new newsletters are really, really good.
Good,
They're really easy to read and their formatting is great on the mobile or on a desktop. And so high five on the new newsletters. I think that you're doing an excellent job with those.
I'm glad those are very good.
Yeah, good work.
Thank you, okay, Q, treasurer's report, oh, sorry,
I was just saying it's a team effort, Dennis.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Q.
Still working on the budget. Things not going on great. Trying to get that squared away, get you a copy of it this week. Our audit, the deadline passed, it's frustrating with everything that I've submitted. The auditing firm is coming back with, well, we got this, but now we want this. They keep adding to that list, and it's frustrating for me, and I know it's frustrating for you.
The most recent thing in that is they changed staff people and assigned a new staff person to our audit about a week and a half ago.
Isn't the deadline like 2 weeks
30.
ago? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is it worth having a conversation and maybe not here now about switching to desert audit?
yes,
So we're already gonna do that, yes.
Did we vote on that or was that a different board I said?
We're gonna,
Cause I used to sit on, cause I voted on that not that long ago, but I can't remember which board it is. Wasn't here,
We're not gonna discuss that right now.
got it,
Yeah,
so I didn't vote on it, thank you.
okay.
But that's on everyone's mind.
Yes,
that's all.
thank you, Q, I appreciate that. All right, Keisha.
Okay, I don't want to repeat everything that's in here. But I did create this Georgetown keeping traffic management plan report. Which Alex, just so you know, it does include a business impact section on page 85 here. That does discuss the Argentine business impact. Now that is anecdotal, I've not done a survey of any kind. I know that some people who work for like the market, for example, said that it was very busy, and then other people said that there was an impact. So, you know, it probably depends on the day, shift, that kind of thing. And There were people east of Sixth Street or Rose Street that also reported a slight downtick in traffic. Now, the power outage is a difficult thing to factor into that.
Yeah.
But
Dennis pulled the plug.
Didn't work.
but overall, we feel very strongly that it was a massive improvement in people's ability to travel throughout town. And, we have locals that were stopping constantly to tell us what a great job we were doing and how much easier it was for them to get to their locations. Streets that are east of Rose Street were really not impacted at all by leaf peeping, which is a total new thing. Because typically it's gridlock throughout the entire town, including Main Street and 22nd and Taos and everywhere. So yeah, we feel this was a vast improvement, and we will be making some adjustments for next year. Some of those things are additional directional signage for people, especially with the one-way traffic. People are relying on Google Maps and it's telling them that they can turn the wrong direction on the road, so some bigger additional directional signage for key locations like the lake, Georgetown Loop, Guanella Pass. And yeah, those are really the three big ones that people were looking for, so.
Can Google Maps be updated to that? I don't know how that works.
You can
It's
update it, but it's difficult to do it as a temporary thing. Like
Okay.
a certain amount of people have to submit it and then they will approve it, but then it's a permanent change. So I don't know that it makes sense for us
Okay,
to
gotcha.
attempt
Yeah, I
that.
just didn't. And did you hear anecdotally that, I have two questions. Did we have the same number of cars through our town this year as last? I'm just wondering.
Yes,
We did.
approximately, we were estimating we had about 30,000 last year. It was
Great.
between 20 and 30, so we might have had more this year.
All told or in one weekend?
In
I thought
one
it was-
weekend.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We had about 31,000 in peak weekends.
Yeah.
And we actually had more people Sunday, which was interesting.
I know, which
because
is-
we didn't have any stoppages on Sunday, so.
Exactly. And then did the stores in historic, or actually throughout town for Coopers for that matter, the lake, the brewery, and then historic downtown. I know that east of Rose, people were saying, well, they kind of had a drop off in activity. What about everybody else? Did you hear any information about, was everybody busy? Was it kind of the same? What was that?
What I heard is that our restaurants were very busy.
Okay, that's what I
And
thought.
I've talked to some of our retail people and they said they were busy as well, but it'll be interesting to see how the sales tax pans out
Yeah.
for this year versus last year.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you very much.
How was Rose Street traffic?
Well, we were only there one Sunday out of all of it, we were gone all the rest.
That was probably smart.
So, no, I mean, the one Saturday we got in late afternoon and the roundabout, that we're still there, we just went down and. By Alpine and coming that way, it was fine, wasn't too bad, and the Sunday when it was busy, I went for a run and it was like a whole different world. Few cars come by that were locals and it was awesome.
Nothing was by my house. It was
Yeah, so-
amazing.
But you saw it in a positive way, because
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah.
definitely on the impact route.
I did traffic on that strip, it wasn't bad, cause I did that Sunday morning barricade both weekends. And I mean, there was only one time, I think it was the first Sunday, that I called you and I was like, we just backed up really bad. And I don't remember what had transpired. The second Sunday, it never backed up, but the key was keeping people moving through the roundabout.
That's the
That was like the
thing.
whole recipe, was the
It was.
roundabout, so you guys did a really good job, I know that there was some frustration. I had a couple businesses lay into me a little bit about the Rose Street situation, and I think that next year if we can figure out, or excuse me, Sixth Street. Like bigger parking. Like, but it is, I think.
It's a learning curve, I
It is a
think,
learning
like, yeah,
It's a huge improvement. It was a huge improvement.
huge improvement.
Chaos doesn't benefit anybody. And if you, like, in the weeks leading up to leaf season, the comments on Reddit, on Facebook, on Instagram, were do not go near Guanella Pass. It was horrible last year. People were super worked up. And I think that we did a really good job of mitigating that.
No, I think it was great,
Absolutely.
you know, I mean, People really don't stop at the stop sign, but
Well, I mean, we were waiting
that's
for
okay, you know.
Like, I was like, don't stop, don't
Yeah.
stop, don't stop. keep
Yeah.
going.
Really kudos to staff for that, kudos to you guys, because it was very well done, very well executed, and I really appreciate the hard work that went into it, because I thought the plan was crazy. At first, I was like, what? All these one ways, and it was just beautiful, and it was great, the effort paid off, all the volunteers, it was really, really good, so thank you for that,
And I think the sheriff's efforts on Winona Pass to keep
made a
people from
difference.
parking make a huge difference.
Oh, that's huge.
Thank you, Kasia, anything else you wanna mention? You have a pretty thorough report.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything pressing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, all right, thanks.
Thank you. You have my report, it's an abbreviated report because I was not in town last week. I wanted, I want to say something about my staff. They did an excellent job. When you're a town administrator and you have to leave for a week, you do not get to relax because you're always wondering what's going wrong. And when you're gonna get a call, and I got no calls, and nothing went wrong, and as you can tell by the hefty agenda, everybody in this room was really aggressive in terms of getting things done and showing that you don't need to run and get things done, so.
Alright, fine.
And I wanna remind you that tomorrow is my 6-month anniversary.
Awesome.
It seems like it was 6 years so far.
That's good, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I wanted to get an update on the IGA, because Jerry touched on a little bit about what he's doing in terms of the legalese, but we did meet twice. The first time we met, we started to go through a long list of issues that I created and gave to the team. They were very happy to get this bullet point list because it kind of started off in a rambling discussion, but we got it where we were nailing a couple of important things, and then we met by Zoom last Thursday. I zoomed in from Michigan, and we spent about an hour and 10 minutes finishing off that list, and we got through all of the discussion issues, and we negotiated them back and forth and landed on solutions. And we were very happy to be able to turn it over to Peter and Jerry at the end of that meeting so that they could get to work on this. So I'm very optimistic. The sheriff's office and the interim county administrator are very accommodating to the needs of the town. They had a list already built up from what they had heard from your comments during this discussion about term of the agreement, the phasing in of the invoicing and all that stuff that we're gonna start off. So it worked out very well. I'm very happy and very optimistic that we're gonna have something for you. To add to that though, it is important to keep moving this forward, but it's more important, I think, to make sure we get it done right. So if you do not see something to approve on the 28th, that's okay. But we are going to get you as soon as the draft is done and everybody on the team is happy with that draft, we are then going to send it out to you so you can have plenty of time to look it over. And we're going to approve it when it's the time to approve it. It's not going to be a rush job. So I wanted to also point out, I sent out a bunch of information over the last couple of weeks in the Friday email notes that were very important. And one of those issues is the county annex building, the disposition by the county on that. I met with Colton a couple of weeks ago and we discussed this, and he indicated to me that he was going to be talking with the board individually about this particular item. And that he would communicate with us right away, and so he did, and I forwarded that email to you, you should all have a copy of that. But at this point, the county's plan is to market that building at market value. They cannot afford to discount it to us, and they can't afford to discount it to anybody because of their financial situation. And so at this point, it seems like the county annex building is really not an option for us to relocate to from town hall. But the caveat would be when we finally get the estimate for renovating the other location that we're continuing, if it is exorbitant, then they would probably bring the county annex building back into the discussion. So that's just where I see this at this point. Doesn't mean it's off the table for good. It's just gonna be dependent on the cost estimates we get from the architects that we hire. Any questions from anybody on that, sir?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments?
What's the update on the events and marketing? Yeah,
We have sent out resumes to the committee and we are waiting to find out availability for next week. And we've also requested that they narrow down Dennis narrowed down 78 applications to about 30, and I narrowed that down to 20, and then we sent that to the committee to narrow it down to 7. And then availability, depending, we will do interviews next week.
We know if those applicants, since they've been sitting here for a while, are still active applicants.
Mhm.
Confirm that, okay. Want to know?
And we have some good applications. We were very
Good.
happy with the group that.
Like hard to narrow them down.
I know.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
That's good, thank you.
We communicate correctly with the ones who fail to make first post.
We will do that when we set the interviews.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We've got a second name. Seconding names.
Mary, Amanda, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? This meeting is adjourned at 8:00.